You finished the story, huh? Guess you're about ready to hang up your cape and call it a night then, right? Wrong. Don't forget about all that free play stuff you can do.
Space. Infinite and vast and full of stuff. Space. Infinite and vast and full of stuff. Greetings, fellow genuine do-gooder, who absolutely didn't just borrow their costume from someone else. It is I, the Green Loontern. I couldn't help but overhear about your little trips to the Lantern Planet, and, well, let's just say that the real adventure isn't part of the official tour. Help me get this door open and I'll show you what I mean. I promise, once we get this door open, you're in for a world of excitement. No, make that 6 worlds of excitement. Behold, the interplanetary planet teleportation to Planet's room, or whatever it's called. From here, you can take the back door route to any of the Lantern planets you've visited, meaning you can explore the entire planet. Exciting, huh? And if that ain't enough, I hear there's a whole load of these beauties to be found. Here, take this one to whet your appetite. See ya up there, hero.
Well, well! Look who came back for another hint.
My name is Oliver Queen. I've been stranded on an island with only one goal: survive. Survive, and one day use a proper toilet again. I must fulfill my father's dying wish to use the list of names he left me and bring down those who are poisoning my city. To do this, I must become someone else. I must become something else. Something green and pointy and arrowy. So far, I've learned how to give a bowl of water a good slapping, but my training is by no means complete. Like, what if I'm attacked by a bowl of soup? Not watery soup. That really thick pea soup. Whole different fighting style to water. Anyway, I'm not alone on this island. I've met another survivor, Slade Wilson. He's okay. He just likes to take his top off a little too much and hits me in the face a lot. But he assures me it's for my own good. He's agreed to train me to fight and to survive. That day, Slade and I decided to visit a nearby campsite that belonged to our not-so-friendly neighbors. We would need to trust each other if our plan was to succeed. For members of the continuity police out there, sometimes I like to imagine myself back on the island wearing my arrow costume, okay?
Thank you for saving me from that vicious ensnarement, fellow crime fighter.
My experiences on the island changed me. Sometimes they even changed me into a small, plastic version of myself. Slade had changed too, but he always had a plan to survive. There's no doubt in my mind that being around Slade made me stronger. I hardly ever climbed waterfalls at home. Danger was all around the island. You always had to watch your step. It was Yao Fei's bow. Slade had hidden it for safekeeping, but today, we needed to put it to good use. I remember thinking at the time that my archery had greatly improved, as well as wondering how Slade had been able to construct such an elaborate shooting gallery. We were ready to take on the bad guys, but it turned out they were ready too.
You believe in Batmite, right?
It was going to be tricky to get past unless we thought of something. Luckily, Slade was extremely skilled when it came to not being seen.
How can you not get this one?
turned out to be a setup. They were waiting to ambush us like guests at some twisted surprise birthday party without any presents, cake, or ice cream. At last, we spotted our prize. A stockpile of weapons that, for us, would make getting off the island next to impossible. We had to destroy them while we had the chance. So there you have it. Another harrowing experience back on the island that made me into who I am today, into what I've become today. Now I gotta go. Felicity and Diggle worry when I flash back for too long. Remember, keep your arms straight and let go.
Mr. J, having a discussion about chickens, roads, and tactical nukes. Just minding our own beeswax when we heard about this awesome party for the bad guy. So I says, "Hey Puddin', how comes you never told me we was going to a party?" And he says, "We didn't get invited." I mean, how rude! Not that me and Mr. J ever waited for an invite or nothing, but it's nice to be asked, you know? Ew, so drab. I mean, all that black? Is this a party or a wake? You know what I think, Mr. J? I think this needs a little invigorating redecoration. Let's get to our work, Mr. J. We'll show Bat Brain how to throw a real party. Ah! Hey, I always liked a fella who could dance, and there's no one better than Mr. J. ain't gonna find a classier ride than the Joker-mobile anywhere! Now that's much more like it. Ain't that better? You gotta admit, my Puddin's dreamy smile is way better than that boring old bat. Whoa, Mama! Love your work, Mr. J. Old Bats is gonna go crazy. Ta-da! I just want to say, if there'd been no Batman, there'd be no Joker, and I'd have never met my Puddin'. Happy anniversary, Bats! Oh, phooey! Everyone's a critic!
Krypton, once a great planet, now stands on the brink of destruction. I, Maximus, Jor-El, must try to save my son Cal by sending him off-planet with all our civilization's genetic knowledge hidden in his tiny baby pants. If I can get home and put him inside our last pod, he'll be safe. As long as we put enough milk in with him, that should do the trick. It can't fail. General Zod. He wants to take over the planet, which is falling to bits. What a loon. I trust his space dragon. Senseless waste. Calyx, you Drongo, help me get inside. I return to find my home, besieged by General Zod and his fighters. I can't stand uninvited house guests. The front door was locked using a puzzle so complex that only a machine like Calyx could possibly ever solve it. I hoped Lara and Cal were still safe inside. Zod had no idea of my true plans for the Codex, but he seemed determined to stop me at all costs. In some ways, you'll have to admire his persistence. Another fiery explosion with more of Zod's men trying to hunt me down. It was at this point I began to wish I'd come in through the back door. Finally, I can get young Cal in the escape pod. I think he might need changing first, though. Zod again? Hasn't he got better things to do? Get a decent haircut? Or not the cradle? Took Lara and I ages to put that together. Sweetheart, can you remember where we put the instructions for that? Such damage. I had once considered naming my child Zod. Lara argued that we should call him Neil, before we both settled for Cal. I'd definitely choose Neil before Zod now. I'd heard of rocking the cradle, but this was ridiculous. Repairing it would be vital. Our plan was to succeed. Boran, one of Zod's most loyal henchmen and a formidable combatant. Shame he smelled worse than a Rondor beast. Feora, a warrior so tough, she was rumored to have taken her vacations on what was left of Wegthor. The cradle was finally rebuilt. This was our only chance. Goodbye, my son. Remember to write. No, wait. Never mind. General Zod arrived at last. I couldn't let him stop our mission. I never thought that'd get off the ground. Good luck, son. Your mother's left a bunch of hologram doohickeys in the pod to teach you how to do stuff, and there's some holiday snaps from that trip to Candor we took. Wherever you end up, make sure you wear plenty of sunscreen, and try not to lose the genetic codex I've hidden in your DNA.